In the introduction class, I liked the competence and joyful chart, and I realized that I need to find a golden ticket career that I both enjoy and that I am good at. In positive psychology, class 2, I learned that the happiness formula includes three things. Your enduring level of happiness is a combination of your set range, your circumstances, and your voluntary variables. In class 3, flourishing, I liked the 6 virtues: wisdom and knowledge, courage, humanity and love, justice, temperance, and transcendence. And I liked figuring out what I'm the best at. In class 4, achieving authentic happiness, I learned that I can increase hope by learning to argue with myself, by finding evidence, alternatives, implications, and usefulness. In class number 5, the how of happiness, I learned how to have the most gratification with meaningful activity, and that's by completely immersing myself in the activity and having a deep experience with it and enacting my personal strengths and virtues. In class 6, positivity and love, I liked the different forms of positivity that you can have: love, joy, gratitude, serenity, interest, hope, pride, amusement, awe, and inspiration. In class 7, flow, I learned that flow is being in the zone. And my favorite thing about flow is that it's a challenging task, but a task that you have the ability to complete, and you have clear goals and concentration. But I like the challenging aspect of flow. In class 8, meaning and achievement, I learned that the meaning of life lies in God. I love that. For me, the gospel gives me meaning in life, and also having a meaningful life includes being a giver, and it's not the same as having a happy life, but it's giving. The happiest places, class 9, I learned that thriving is individuals that rate themselves as very happy, 8 on a 10-point scale, and will also believe they'll be happier in the next 5 years. I like to think that I'm thriving right now. So class 10, why we do what we do. I learned about intrinsic motivation, and that threats and competition reduce intrinsic motivation, and also that intrinsic motivation provides learning, creativity, problem solving, and just a richer experience overall and better conceptual understanding. So good stuff. Class 11, the self-determination theory, includes 3 basic psychological needs: autonomy, competence, and relatedness. And all 3 of these work together to intrinsically motivate us. Class 12, time famine, I learned that we exacerbate the pace of our lives. I realized that I want to be smarter about my time and control what I can control, as in using less media. In class 13, take back your time, my favorite thing was what Brigham Young said about working, and he said to work 8 hours a day, sleep 8 hours a day, and recreate for 8 hours a day to have a balanced life. In class 14, the digital age, I learned that technology can enhance relationship, feeds emotional, spiritual, and social hungers, produces creative thinking and self-expression, but also gives a need for external validation, which is not good. In class 15, intentional families, I learned the importance of rituals in families. Only an intentional family has a fighting chance to maintain and increase its sense of connection, meaning, and community over the years. So I want to be more intentional in my future family. Class number 16, family rituals. I realized that family rituals are so important, but there's also spiritual power in rituals in the gospel. We have ordinance rituals that are meant to bind us to Heavenly Father, and family rituals can also bind us to our families. But the gospel has some great rituals. In class 17, the last child in the woods, I learned about nature deficit disorder and how that can diminish our use of senses, and it has a higher rate of illness. So going outside in nature is so healthy for us. In class number 18, experience economy and experience staging, I learned how important it is to harmonize impressions with positive cues like time, space, technology, authenticity, and also to get rid of negative cues. In class 9, fostering empathy, I learned that self-justification leads to self-deception and self-betrayal. I want to learn how to overcome it and shift to an outward mindset. In class 20, creative confidence and design thinking, I liked the process of ideating, visualizing, and brainstorming, and also the idea that it's quantity over quality. So I think that aspect of the process just lets your creative juices flow. In Class 21, Designing Your Life intro, I like the idea of creating your work view and your life view and trying to get those two views to correlate and align with each other because I think that's so important. Class 22, Designing Your Life, Wayfinding and Odyssey Plans. I liked the Good Time Journal and finding what activities you find yourself in a state of flow because I think that finding activities that you enjoy most is super important for designing what you want to do with your life. In Class 23, Designing Your Life Prototyping, I learned that prototypes allow you to try and fail rapidly without over-investing in a path before you have any data, and it's also about building empathy and understanding. So prototyping is really important so you don't over-invest yourself. And then Class 24, Designing Your Life Choosing Happiness, my favorite part of this lesson was the idea that perseverance or grit is a better measure of potential success than your IQ. You don't necessarily need to be super smart to be successful, but self-discipline and perseverance are the most important things.